is approved. We have one comment from the, Crystal Taylor. You would like to,
My name is Kristen Taylor. I'm from Knoxville. I just had a comment about the policy for the meeting room. We utilize them a lot. And one thing I've noticed about the system to schedule the meeting room is that like if I go in, let's say 10 a.m. on Friday morning, I can't book for the next Friday. It's already blocked out. So the policy says 7 days, but it's really more like 8. And then also if I come in and need a meeting room there and the meeting room empty and not being used, we can't do like same day reservations on the meeting rooms. So, and 7 days is sometimes a little hard. I don't know if next time that policy is revised, if that window of reservation could be cut down to like 5 days or 3, and then revisit the policy on same day use of those meeting rooms. I love it. So thank you.
thank you. Melissa, do you want to address any of that?
I can just say we have that on the list of policies that we want to review anyway. There's some
Okay.
other things that we'd like to, so I have taken notes.
Yes, because I actually went to the Fisher Library because our internet was down and I couldn't do a same day. I didn't realize that was part of the policy. So I was going to actually bring that up too. The other thing is, I know it says like after 10 minutes, the room's relinquished. So if you don't have same day,
That's for the study rooms.
okay, that's
So the
what I was
study rooms,
using.
okay.
That's what I'm referring to, sorry.
Okay, study rooms, you should be able to reserve same day.
Okay, so that's the
Mhm.
difference. Okay, very good. Thanks for that clarification. Okay, I'll know better now. All right, thank you. All right, so we'll move on to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes from the board meeting of, September 18th?
I'll make a motion to accept the September board meeting minutes.
Greg motions to accept the meeting minutes. Do I have a second? Mr. Gong, seconds that, and all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Then we had an executive session also on September 18th. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
Can we do the consent agenda as one?
Sure.
Isn't.
Yes, I see that now. Sorry, I
Yeah,
didn't bring my
okay.
laptop. I wasn't prepared. for
Okay,
it.
okay.
So it's looking weird to me on my phone. Okay, so we'll approve the consent agenda. Thank you, Susan. And do I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Thank you. A second?
Second.
Thank you, Beth. All right, the consent agenda, can I have a vote on that? Do all in favor say aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. So items removed from the consent agenda. We did not remove anything, or do I have a motion to, need to remove anything? Okay. So it looks like the Board of Officers, that has been determined going forward for next year. And it looks like Craig will be president. I will continue as vice president. Susan is secretary. Kim Loeffler is the treasurer. Beth Scheller as assistant secretary. Bill Kinley is a member. Michelle Payne is a member, and Michael Zong is a member. Then the committees are listed also on the attachment. Are there any questions on that?
So, Madam Vice President, I think that is a report, perhaps of the nominating committee, so it has not yet been determined.
Okay.
And so you may wish to ask for a motion to approve that.
Oh, yes, I would. I just was
Okay.
wanting to read it first so that people knew what was available or what we were voting on if they didn't have it right in front of them. So after looking at those items, is there a motion to approve the new officers for next year?
I'll move to approve the new officer slate.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Susan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so I guess you get this.
Awesome. Thank you.
So so we're at number 7. Do you want to continue, or do you want me to continue, or do you want to take over?
I can take over.
All right,
And then
got
I
it.
think the board president has to formally do the committee assignments, correct?
Correct.
All right, anyone have any objections or gripes with the proposals of the nominating committee for the committee assignments? All right, and no objections, then I will accept the proposal of the nominating committee and appoint the committees pursuant to their recommendation. All right, and then it looks like we've added, since I printed this, in item 7, staff introductions.
Yes, we have, our 2 new youth services managers, so, we asked them to come tonight so we could do an introduction, and we are really excited about, these, 2 new hires, and so, I just wanted to introduce them to you, Celeste Swanson. Celeste has, worked with children, teens, and families in libraries for over a decade. She comes to us from her most recent position at the Lane Library in Ohio, where she was the youth coordinator. And in that role, she was selected as a state trainer for Early Literacy 101, and so that was a statewide thing that they did in Ohio, and reimagining school readiness. And she's demonstrated a talent for mentoring staff and making community connections to improve library experience for all. And we are really excited to have her, and she's going to be leading our Fishers Youth Services team.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And then Michelle Cheever, we're happy to welcome Michelle back to Hamilton East. She worked with us in our public services team a few years ago. And she comes to us from Anderson Public Library, where she was the children's services manager. She also has over a decade of experience in public libraries, with a focus on serving youth and teens. So she brings a background of building connections with community organizations, and she's an experienced leadership presence to come back and join our team. And we're really excited to have her leading our team, youth services team in Millville.
Welcome.
So, you know, Molly and I come from a children's background, so we feel very strongly about these positions, and we had a lot of very excellent candidates, and so we're very, but we've got, I think, the 2 best.
Good.
We're happy to have you. Thanks for coming to the meeting.
Thank you.
But also, you don't have to feel like you have to stay for the whole thing. Nobody will be
Exactly.
offended if
No.
if you speak out, so.
Right, the next item that we have on our agenda is the small projects. The Buildings and Grounds Committee met actually just yesterday, and we looked at the final proposal for the small project line items and cost. Matt, you'll explain that much better than I can, so I'll hand it to you.
Yes. Good evening, and just to kind of provide another brief summary as to, the steps we've gone through. It started with a phone call. We came over and identified a few key items that wanted to address at both branches. And from that, we basically ended up creating kind of a wish list of different items to make sure that we went through. And with that, we're able to prioritize some of the items that were kind of always thought of that we wanted to, as the next step, move forward through both branches. Those evaluation criteria on trying to evaluate which ones were, level 5, 4, all the way down to a level 1, which is something that, we can definitely push down the road for sure. That led us to creating first bringing on KRM as the architect to help start take those into the concept phase, SD phase through the DD set, as we kind of evaluated and created the base scope of those items that were kind of ranked a 4 and 5 as critical. With that, they created the base scope drawings, and we also included some of the other items that we felt we could potentially get on there. We created those as alternates, and brought on we brought on a CM team, Meyer Najum, who they recently went through the public bid notice and received all of the public bids for the different trade packages to basically complete all the again, critical items for the 5 that we've identified. So with that, I know KRM was able to provide us with some renderings, so just kind of a reminder of what all is included in this base package. This will be at the Fishers branch. At the Fishers branch, we are looking to do kind of significant upgrades to the youth services program. In this, you can see, because we got the screen that perfect. We've got some of the program rooms in the back there will be kind of reworked to to move the operable partition, provide, some motorized shades in there, provide a kitchenette, which staff, asked for some larger sinks to be able to address and clean up and stuff after the different programs. In the foreground right there is kind of a new play zone, and off to the left would be a new staff desk, a lot more space, for, the staff there, as well as storage, and as well as providing some different heights so that your younger patron, won't feel intimidated to approach the staff desk there. Next slide, I believe, is gonna show kind of what's called like the south reading zone. So this is, Karen came up with a clever feature here, kind of calling them the tree houses. So this would look out onto the east entrance hallway corridor as you come into the library there. Creates, some seating, additional seating there, and just kind of some cubbies there for the kids, as well as the additional lighting that you see there. This would be, the entry into the youth services. Right now, if you go in there, it's kind of dimly lit. It's not as welcoming, as, this would kind of create. There are some light fixtures there that would kind of be able to project, images onto the floor there, additional seating, additional displays, and, kind of helping a potential safety hazard is creating a seat around a skill, column there, support column, that I've heard many have walked into.
Yes.
And then walking through, you go straight through the entrance and just continue your path forward. You go through this kind of the family reading area. This will kind of open up some of the ceiling there, repaint it, kind of create some fun ceiling there, as well as some additional, furniture fixtures and everything to sit at. And through that, you kind of see some, colored, be like acrylic panels that will create light will come through and hit those. On the other side of that would be an additional space for, some families to read at, potential areas for tutoring and everything. And this is just kind of, the hand sketches of the play zone and everything. But some of the other things that aren't rendered yet, the meeting rooms over at Fisher would get new flooring. The stage area would be looking to get wood flooring on there. The north entrance, the lower level there at Fisher on this, when you're enter in on the north, there's some heating issues, in there. So we would be addressing some of the heating concerns, creating some, basically thin tube along the glass wall there to help with heating at that lower level, as well as creating some, storage space for some of the chairs, tables, and everything in those meeting rooms at the lower level as well. And then also there'd be the new circulation desk at Fisher's as well. You have that both at Fisher's and at Noblesville. Noblesville would also be getting a new circulation desk right out here, much larger, again, more storage, and a door access directly into the staff area there from the circulation desk. And back to Fisher's, there are some exterior items as well. Right now, it is an alternate, but is included in the numbers that were presented to you in your packet. Would be an exterior canopy on the south side of the library there, where there's already a turf area. So this should provide a shade structure. It also is providing a power outlet out there as well. So, for activities that may require power out there. And then there's also some downspout work as well. There's some rain chains out there that have been failing. This would get rid of those and go back to traditional downspout. So getting that work back in as well. And then lastly, there's some tiles, around the exterior that have become kind of a slip hazard, and we'd be working through potential epoxy and ways to create those as a non-slip surface, basically. So with that, I believe in your packet we've gone through again, received the numbers from Meyer Nachum. They went through the public bid notice, received bids. They did get numbers for all the different bid packages. Some of them they did receive there's some that were only one, bids, but fortunately, we looked at them. Those that did receive bids from, we are familiar with and feel comfortable with proceeding forward, with those that did bid on the project. Again, the overall, what we're looking here is to, kind of approve the overall project budget. This is kind of broken down into two phases. The letter that we provided has Meyer and Jones GMP, guaranteed maximum price for the project. Came in a little over 3.5 million for all of those, items that were discussed. It did include all of the alternates, except for there was one alternate that was left out, and that was the replacing the sliding doors. Initially, when we looked into this, there were some problems with the doors. I've since had manufacturers back out and done some work on those, and we understand they continue to be working properly, so don't feel like that funding needs to be spent there. The second part of the overall project budget is what we call soft costs. So this would be inclusive of our fees, KRM fees would be in there. There are some furniture and fixture pieces that Meyer Najum does not include. This would be refrigerator, dishwasher. There's a light wall at the play zone there at the youth services. Those would be pieces that the owner would purchase directly, and Meyer Najum would install those. With that, again, believe the majority of the alternates are in there. They do have some allowances as well. Would open it up to questions or concerns.
I don't know if this is on a list for future things, but I was at the library over the weekend on the south side where those tiles are. Concrete's coming up around them. Is this something everyone's aware of? I'm just announcing.
So I think that the epoxy should cover that.
It
Is
was,
that
so,
what the tiles you were referring to earlier?
yes,
Okay,
yeah, so there's some tiles there that not only are they a slip, but understanding that some of them are starting to fail as well, the concrete around them. So this would be inclusive of kind of cutting those out, patching them and then putting in epoxy surface over the top of it.
so those tiles would be removed then, basically.
At this point, it's in the scope, we have an allowance, that whole portion is an allowance at this point. We're still kind of discussing through it, but what is covered, if need be, would be to remove the tiles, if need be. There is also some other options that we can discuss with Meyer Najum about making those non-slip, but my understanding is with the kind of the failure that's happening, they may need to just go.
Yeah, I would vote for just go.
Yep.
They're not particularly attractive when I sound like, what is that? So, couldn't quite put it together. Maybe it's just me, but it didn't make sense. But, okay,
Yeah, and then
So
so
that's
that
my
cost
only
would cover epoxying basically
All
across everything, so that way you don't have little patches,
Yeah.
throughout.
that makes sense. Yeah, okay, good.
All right, so we've reviewed all this through buildings and grounds, and I guess one of the items that we, flagged for more discussion, seems like all of this is stuff that should be done, but one to flag the eliminated ceiling, just because lights tag for more discussion. Could you maybe elaborate on that, like how many lights are we getting?
So that'd be this slide here. Dave, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe, again, the light fixtures that are projecting down on the floor, that is base scope. What is the alternate would be what you see on the right side of the picture there, kind of creates that almost starry effect is what I call it. I'm not sure. Katie, you probably have a better term for it.
The backlit. So this was, design intent was just to amplify the experience as kids are coming into the youth services space. I do understand this is a fairly large price tag item, so it's definitely up to your discretion, but we think the ceiling is really quite dark and dreary right as you get into the youth services space, and we really want that to be, awe-inspiring for the kids that are coming in there. So having a really dynamic ceiling that, helps to brighten up the space and move deep into youth services, this was our design for that.
So the price that's included is the one that's in color, or Yeah.
So what is included in the price right now, it does include the alternate, which would be, the alternate is to add that
Okay,
portion on the right. So that portion on the right is in the number right now.
okay.
So there's like fixed lights, or is this giving some sort of like movement effect, or?
It does not move, it would be in a fixed light. And I didn't quite answer your question, it would be from when you enter into the space up until that column. So that's about, I don't know, 15 feet probably.
And the images are interchangeable, so we can, but do we get a set of interchangeable images, or do we, like,
I'm
from the
not
get-go, or
I
do
do
we?
believe it's something you can also create in the Ignite Studio, like you could place different shapes and change the color.
And if we opt to not, we still need to have lighting addressed in that corridor, is that correct? So we'll be spending something, but not,
Correct. The portion that would come out, so that alternate number is valued at about 112,000.
Yeah.
For basically in the portion that you see there on the right. You take that out, you still get a lot of the downlights you see there. There's new downlights in the soffit on either side, as well as, down the center.
okay.
Like enough lighting, you think, or you're just saying they would need more?
You didn't have lights to be replaced in the lease bid, just to clarify that, so the existing ceilings are working. So if we did want to add more lights, that would be a
Sorry, yeah.
cost.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's certainly look into further.
Was there enough? Did you guys say this, I guess, that there was enough lighting without doing that?
Without doing it?
I mean, you can see, it's not like it's, but it's just, it's kind of, it's
dim.
It's dim and gray and sad. I mean, that's what I would say. It's just, it's not like a, it's not a,
Not bright and happy.
but it's not like you're gonna trip and walk with. So,
Could be when walking in the house.
yeah. That could be.
That's something the building is around, we're gonna make a decision, or you're looking for a vote?
So I think, yeah, we're gonna, I guess, look for a motion on this package.
And there's also a contract from KRM and Meyer Nation as well.
Do we need to vote on that separately?
So I think with this one, be identifying the approval of the number, the next step with this, again, as Melissa indicated, there is the base contract with Meyer Najum. That just addresses kind of their fee, the pre-construction fee and everything. Once the budget here is approved, they have a GMP amendment, which is basically also a part of the packet. It just doesn't have a dollar amount filled in yet. So they would go back and fill out the GMP amendment, send that over for signature.
And to clarify, so just to be clear, I spoke to Mike Reuter, our financial consultant, and he is more than okay with these expenditures. And Kim has looked and it's like looking at how we will pay things out, how we could pay things out over this year, because it is a project will go into next year. So what would come out of this year's budget and then versus next year. So, but Mike has approved the, he said, yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so,
my understanding is actually encouraging some expenditures.
yes, Mike would like us to spend money.
Just to clarify with this did not include, there's again, some additional furniture that is being looked at, as well as a signage package. That is not inclusive of this number, that is outside of it and be considered a separate project or part of the different funds for next year and everything.
Which Mike is also okay with us spending money on that as well. I gave him sort of a general what we thought might be the total thing, and so he was enthusiastic about the expenditures.
Any other questions for Matt? All right, thanks so much. And Katie or Yo, do you have anything to add? So I guess just to, for the purpose of initiating discussion, I will make a motion to approve the letter of recommendation that was distributed dated October 15th, 2025.
Second.
All right, any thoughts from board members? I guess building grounds reviewed this. I think a lot of this we need to do. I guess the one we wanted to further consider is the lights. It would be a cool feature. Price tag's kind of high, but as I think it's reiterated, I think something needs to be done.
Well, yes, and it's one of those things where our financial person was agreeable with the total number. If we would decide to do something in that area later, ceiling wise from the lighting, I'm sure it would be much more expensive to do it retro, but when we talked in committee, it was like, you know, that was the one thing that we felt like everybody needed to really take a look at and weigh in whether they felt like it was.
It makes a dramatic difference in that when you walk in that
It makes-
area, it's like, wow, I
It
know where I'm at.
it will make.
That's a focal point of,
Right.
I'm gonna meet you there.
It will make a big impact. I'm, you know, walking through there a lot and it is very, like, what's this space supposed to be? And so I think it would give it more definition and tie it more closely into the children's section. Because it is kind of just a tunnel that you're going, which part of the library does it belong to? So
As we talked about in committee, I mean, the library offers three things. It's facilities, it's collection, and it's programming. And so I guess I don't feel bad investing in our facilities. Any other comments or questions on the motion? All right, then I'll take a vote. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? All right, the motion carries. All right, then on this item, we also have, it looks like the contracts for Meyer Najum and KRN. It's my understanding that Tim has a colleague at Eastern Devosi that reviewed all these and did a lot of back and forth on them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I don't know that, Kevin at KRM is still our friend after this, but he was very thorough in the, vetting of the contract, so, yeah.
And we used Tim and Eastern Devosi with our last issues and they were very thorough and did a great job for us. So I'd be confident that they've gone through all this. All right, then I'll accept a motion either jointly or individually to approve the Meyer Najum and KRM contracts.
I move that we approve both Meyer Najum and the KRM contracts.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, then all in favor of approving the contracts, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Right. That concludes our small projects item agenda. So we'll move on to the next item, which is the schedule closings and hours for the library in 2026.
And I do just want to note that there is a typo on that document that was in the packet. We have since updated it in the pack of the in Diligent now, but the December meeting should be December 17th and not the 1st. So that would be the third Thursday. And then it's basically the same as what we have this year, but I did want to point out, so we did review that the board meeting dates do not occur during HSC or Noblesville spring break. And then the October board meeting, which we currently have in here as October 15th, that avoids HSC's fall break with 1 week of Noblesville fall break. So if we wanted to move it to avoid both of Noblesville's fall break, we would be looking at either October 8th or October 29th. So we do have it in here as the 15th, but we can change either of those weeks if you prefer.
We have a motion on the proposed scheduled holidays, closings, and board meetings.
Motion to approve.
I'll second the motion. Any discussion on the proposal? All right, we'll take a vote. All in favor of approving the proposal, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Right, motion carries. The schedule is approved. All right, the next item we have on our agenda is the administrator's executive recommendation for a new ILS.
Okay, so the library uses an integrated library system, which is commonly referred to as an ILS. And that runs a lot of the functions of the library. So it's the software that we use for the library catalog, for circulation, acquisitions, and then also running reports and things like that. So we did issue, we're currently under contract with Cersei Dynex, and that contract will be expiring next June. So we issued a request for proposals to get proposals for a new ILS, so that we have time to transition. We received 5 proposals in response, and then we had a committee of 11 staff members who reviewed the various proposals, and they are recommending that we move away from Cersei Dynex to Bywater Solutions. And we have both Molly and Joseph, our collection services director, on hand to answer any questions about the selection process or the recommendation.
How many providers did we review?
5.
Or did you say that already? Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay. It's a long day.
Okay. And so this one rose to the top because why? What were the main reasons?
Yeah, what we liked, so we have actually, this is our second time doing an RFP for ILSs. We've been with Cersei forever. It was the first product for that we used with digital catalogs at all. We did this 5 years ago. We also looked at this product. They replied to our RFP at that time. This is an open source product. It's designed by librarians. At that time, we felt like it wasn't a good time to switch, although we were really impressed with that product at the time as well. This year, there's a confluence of things between some dissatisfaction, a little bit with some of our existing product, primarily in the patron discovery experience side of things. So we were really looking to modernize that. So the public catalog, the OPACs and things that you all interact with the system on. And we felt like not only had this product really developed in the last 5 years and brought on some larger library systems that they didn't necessarily have in the past. So there's we can have that level of trust that the product will function for us. But it also really brings a much more modern, user-friendly interface for the public, but also for staff. The Cersei product is robust and very well trusted, and also looks almost exactly the same as when I used it at IU Libraries in 1999. So this is something that's sort of natively developed in a more modern approach to how people access libraries. Also price is not to be discounted here. It's a much significant savings for us, especially after year 1, when we get through all the migration costs and training costs.
That's important. I'm glad you remembered to mention it.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I wish. I'll find some links to what it looks like for, because it is striking the difference in what it looks like with the new versus what ours looks like. Ours looks like it was created in 1993, like that, but.
Santa Barbara Library is one that we have reviewed and
Oak Park Public Library is another one, but I can send those links out. But yeah, they just look dramatically different.
we're also at a different time. I'm sorry to speak of it, but than we were when we looked at this 5 years ago. That would have been a very hard time to try to change platforms in the middle of trying to rebound from COVID, et cetera, and all of that thing happening. Now we are in a much more stable position, I think, to entertain this than we were.
So average user looking at it could be a jolt, but is it intuitive that a new person's gonna look at this and I know at least how to basically get around with it and
I think that's absolutely the advantage of this product. If we were gonna go the other direction, if we were to switch from this, it's called Aspen Discovery is the patron side of this. But if we were to switch to Enterprise, which is what we currently use, I think that would be the real jolt. Some of the modern products are built with the, almost like the Google mindset, the Amazon mindset, so you could do native language searching more. You know, it's less reliant on anybody needing to know, I'm looking for an I can read, or I'm looking for a new set DVD, things like that. You know, you're just doing a lot more common search terms and things like that. We also felt like the account management portion of it, which is also in this Discovery product, was offered more features than we currently can. So I think that will be a bonus as well to the patrons.
Will we get the app with it?
Right now, we are still going with our Communico app, and they do, that is, glad you brought up, that we did ensure as part of this, that this system would function with all of our third-party products that we intend to keep or need to keep. That includes Communico, that includes Patron Point, it includes our RFID system for the check-in and check-out of materials. So it does function with it. Also, you know, one thing we found, since this is an open source product, they have a lot of APIs available, which I think might even open up some additional connections that are easier to implement with a product like this than it's like a way to connect systems, basically. You know,
But they don't have their own app.
they do have an app. We feel like our current app is pretty robust and offers a lot of features that we would like to keep. But that is something we can always be looking at. This is the fact that we were looking at this again through the RFP process is kind of our commitment to continually looking at contracts as they come up. And is it still in the best interest of our patrons? Is it serving our staff where we need it to? So as that contract with that app provider comes up, I mean, that's something we can always be looking at.
Do we get positive reviews on the app from patrons?
We do now. If you look
Okay.
at the Google stores, our first app iteration, there's still some reviews on there that were not
I
great.
guess that's what
And
I'm
we,
wondering.
we were very much aware of that, and now we do get more positive reviews.
All right, I'll accept the motion on the administrator's executive recommendation.
So
Second,
Right, further discussion on that motion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Maybe in a few months, you can, let us know how it's going.
it's a big undertaking, I'm sure.
Yeah, but we have, I mean, it will be starting from now until summer, into like a switching over. So it's not like something we're gonna pull a switch and, I mean, there'll be a lot of training and for staff and then working with Kelsey and her team to make sure the public are aware, but it's gonna be nice.
All right, I see Lisa here for a foundation update.
Well, glad to be with you. I think the first thing I need to report is that we had a successful launch day on October 1st. We distributed more than 300 cookies, which delighted tummies across the cities. We also collected lots of emails and talked to lots of people and had people make donations on our initial day. And the board members that participated at the tables in the Lynch Library had a really good time talking to patrons and were really encouraged by the reception from the community of having a foundation. So that was really good news. The second piece of good news is that tonight I am issuing and have brought with me the first check from the foundation to the library. This check is for $2,500 and it was to sponsor Welcome Week, which we got a corporate sponsor and Northwest Bank to do that. So, but we're really excited about this being our first check from going this way to you. And I would like after the meeting, if Melissa and Craig and our presidents here, Kathy and I could get a picture with our tiny check. We're getting a check. So we can actually do pictures, but anyway, that's a good point of celebration tonight. The other thing is just to let you know that including the deposit I made today, so far the foundation has brought in $342,000. Now, part of that was certainly that bequest, which helped really jump that up, but we're really excited about where we're at and what that's gonna allow us to do going forward to support what's happening here at the library. If you have any questions, there's a little bit more detailed report that's in, diligent for you all, but, any questions?
Maybe you'd like to fund a right turn lane?
Yeah, we are definitely gonna be leaning on the foundation for this everything. The Kenley right-hand turn lane, come to your dad.
Thanks for all your hard work on that. All right, any discussion on that? All right, then we are on to our director's report.
Okay, so, I don't know if you've seen this in regular people's news, but it has been very big topic in the library world, but Baker and Taylor, a 200-plus-year-old book vendor suddenly announced that they are closing shop, and that they will be, it cease operations in January of 2026. So, it was sort of it came as a surprise to a lot of people in the library world. And I will say, I mean, things have not been great with Baker and Taylor for a while. So Joseph, thankfully, they'd already started working with another book vendor, Ingram. So they had already started the process of, getting set up to order from them. And so we are lucky because the day after this immediately after that announcement came out, everybody who was using Baker and Taylor were looking for new book vendors. And there's not that many. So Ingram is one of the other large ones. So we are at least at the front of the line for getting set up. We're able to do our ordering now, but getting set up for all of the processing and all of the other processes that they do on their end that help make it easier for us. We're at least at the front of the line to have that happen. And I will say our collection services department has been just doing an amazing job rallying all, I heard that our selectors are in there wrapping books and, so everybody's just pulling together and to try and, deal with this. And, we know that there might be some delays in getting some of the newer materials out on shelves but we are, gonna work, we're working as hard as we possibly can to make sure that if we can minimize the impact for, the public. So, but again, thank you to Joseph and your team because I know it's not easy, what you're working with. And then in other better news, several of us from the library took a tour of the Rely Center, which is just in our backyard over here it's part of Aspire, but it was an initiative that the county got behind to create a facility that will help serve people who are having mental health crisis. And so we were able to take a tour of that and we talked about how we can partner and help support them. We're hoping that we can host a public event here to just give it information about what they do at that facility. But one of the things that they also, when we have a situation in the library, right now, basically, it's either our staff deal with it or we can call the police. And so right now, this is a fantastic resource because there's sometimes where it's a strange situation and it's maybe not the police, but not just our staff. And so now we have a resource we can call and they have crisis teams who will come out and come to us and they serve the whole county, including several surrounding counties. So, I think all in this county should be very proud of the work that the county did to get that facility up and running because I think will serve a lot of need. Also our new online card registration is, and renewal is live. So that's up and running. And there were several people who helped to make that a success, specifically Anna, who I know she watches this on Zoom. So just Anna, thank you for all your work. She did all of the work getting this set up and it took a lot to make everything work with all the different systems. And then Jane in our marketing department was very helpful in getting it launched successfully. And then Liz was also very important because she helped troubleshoot all of the issues that our staff will handle when people come in to do any of the online registration or if they have issues with their online registration. So just thank you to those people because it's been a project we've been working on for a while, and it's up and running, and we've already had, I saw numbers, I don't know them off the top of my head, but like the numbers of people who are already using it is pretty impressive. And also I would say too, just like the week before it launched, we had a phone call from a woman who was, you know, she's housebound and it's difficult for her to get out of her house, and but they read a lot of books online, and so she was like, how can we get our cards renewed without having to come in, because it's a big hardship for them to get into the library. So we're just really excited to be able to offer that to people. And then also the Dance Around the World event, which Lisa mentioned that it was sponsored by Northwest Bank. That was a big hit at the library, and they had a great attendance at that event. And Preet is in our public services department. She did a really great job selecting the different, she brought in multiple or different dance troupes to do performances. And so she just did a great job selecting dynamic dance troupes and then having it all organized so well. And then Library Card Sign Up Month was in September, and this was our second year doing the Show Your Card, Library Card and Save event. And so Kelsey had, even as we were doing it in the middle of it, Kelsey still had businesses calling to say, hey, can we participate? So she has a list of new businesses that want to participate next year. So anyone who's not familiar, it was a promotion where if you showed your library card at different businesses, you could get different discounts or, you know, a free appetizer, things like that. So she lined up a whole list of businesses, and then our Brad and Julia from our outreach team went and did some library card signups at those businesses. So it was a big success, and it's, I think every year it's our most clicked on thing in emails and on the social media. And then our new Maker Lab, we are hoping to do a ribbon cutting on that sometime in early January. We're gonna do a soft launch on that in November. We have the staff who are getting everything set up and they're working on making tutorials for all of the equipment, but we're gonna do just a couple of months with a soft launch so that we can get everything running like a well-oiled machine. And Bill, Beth, and Susan got a sneak peek of it. So if anybody would like to get a sneak peek of it, I'm happy to take people upstairs after the meeting. But otherwise, I will have a specific date in January for the ribbon cutting, but we're really excited about it. And then I'm happy to answer any questions.
I'm surprised by Baker Taylor. I did double take when I read that, because that'd been one of our big line items forever.
Yeah.
A 200-year-old company, that's sad.
It is sad. It is sad. They had a lot of employees and they all got.
We have a foundation board member for them.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Good day for Ingram.
Yeah.
And hopefully they will hire a lot of those people who were let go, as they will have to.
Yeah.
And who's Carmel use?
I'm sorry.
Who does Carmel use for a vendor?
Ingram,
Ingram.
yeah, they switched away.
So as one of the new guys, why do you use Ingram or Taylor rather than just buy it from Amazon?
They get a better discount. They're able to give better.
Are they different quality of books too or something?
No, it's the same books, but they're just set up to work with libraries and high volume purchases, and we get better discounts from them than we can from Amazon, and then also they do all that they can. They're set up to do processing, so like they'll do our stickering and labeling and jacket covers. They send the records over so that we can load them up into our catalog instead of right now, which is what we're having to do, which is a lot of manual entry or finding it at another location and importing them. So they're specially set up to help libraries function. And if I mess that up, Joseph and Molly will definitely correct me. Yeah, okay. Anything to add?
I mean, we do use Amazon, that is one of our vendors, but, that would be our fallback. Like if you can't get it from one of the book jobbers, we would, try to go through Amazon. Just what she said, because yeah, we can't process them.
Other questions or discussion? All right, thanks so much, Melissa. All right, finally, older new business. I understand we have an executive session prior to this meeting. So I suggest that we discuss the Oleo Road property acquisition.
Do we need a motion first? Or do, yes?
Yes.
I'll move to accept the proposal from the city of Noblesville pending approval of the review and approval of the terms by our trusted experts, KRM, right? Right?
So you want it approved by your advisors, including engineers and legal counsel.
Yes, those people.
Yeah.
Those very important people. Thank you.
People to make us look good.
Yes, right.
And did that motion also anticipate that you would authorize your library director to execute it after its approval by your advisors outside of the meeting?
Absolutely.
I'll second that.
All right, so we have some discussion on that motion. Of course, you've all seen the draft proposed contract we've received. And we've got the caveat in the motion, we can negotiate and get those terms down. So you want to say anything either for or against adopting that proposal subject to review and revision?
Well, I might say I don't love the offer that was given. And I think the city could have done better and maybe more than myself think that. However, knowing that Mr. Reuter is good with us spending over $3 million on, upkeep of the library and things like that, and has expressed that the funds, can and should be spent, and, I'm going to, vote yes for it. Can I say that? Even though I do want it on the record that I feel like it was fast and it was without us having any, being able to ask our own engineers and get our own appraisals and things like that. But, I understand that they are giving us some things worth maybe $100,000 to $200,000, and, we probably aren't going to get better than that if we try to pursue it further.
Comments or discussion?
I think that's a great assessment of the situation.
I guess I'll just say for the benefit of the public here, Noblesville needs to acquire part of our Oleo Road property for the third branch to widen the road. They made an initial offer, and while the dollar amount was lower than we think it could have been, we asked them to approve, and since they were doing the work anyways, to go through some items that would not be a huge deal for them to do during construction, but would save us significantly. Matt estimated it'd be $100,000 to $200,000. So I think viewing this, I think we have to look at the potential savings plus the money offered. And I guess he has one board member, I just thinking about going to litigation over this and getting another appraisal and the time and expense involved in that. I have a hard time believing we're going to get more than that in appraised value from court. So I guess like I said, I'd love to have those other two items too, which I think for a crosswalk and a deceleration lane. I think we are coming out ahead by making a deal with them.
Although for the record, if I may, your attorney would really love to try this case.
But the can is ready to go. Right, or anything else? All right, then all in favor of adopting proposed agreement subject to the caveats, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed to the motion? All right, motion carries. Any other old or new business for tonight? Right, now I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Right, adjourn.